We have been joined by Sukman, who is the Chief Operating Officer for Air Sierra Leone. Well, he's here to talk about the current status and operation of Air Sierra Leone after its maiden flight. And also we do have Rodney Strasser, who's here to talk about his foundation. They've been aggressively embarking on philanthropy, both in sports and in the health sector. So this morning we'll also learn more about the foundation and of course what the plans are for the future. Good morning and welcome, gentlemen. Also in Studio 2 we have Salwa Campbell. She's the President, Sierra Leone United States Alumni Association, SLUSA. She's here to talk about their first expo on the theme Connect, Build and Expand. Well, the expo will take place at the Freetown Golf Club, Dumley Beach, on the 15th of February this year. Good morning and welcome, ma'am. All right, I'll start off with you, of course, Sukman. We've just seen Air Sierra Leone go through its first maiden flight. Tell us about it.
Okay, so we launched our first service, our first scheduled service on the 22nd of Jan. The first flight was between Freetown and Lagos. We had a number of dignitaries on board and a number of commercial passengers, and it went very, very well. And since then, we've gone to full scheduled services, starting with Lagos 3 times a week, and we're very, very encouraged with the results and demand for our services so far. But there's plenty more in the pipeline. I'm sure we can discuss that as well. But we started with Lagos. We will be launching Accra soon, and we are very well advanced with our application for London. So lots of work going on behind the scenes, which we'll execute over the next coming weeks. So we're very happy to be here, and so far so good.
So the particular flights we're actually talking about had actually gone through a lot of scrutiny in the eyes of Sierra Leoneans,
Oh, yes.
I would say.
Yes.
But what should Sierra Leoneans actually know at this point, especially after the maiden flight?
Yeah, we saw a lot of negative press, sadly. These things happen, and you know, aviation is a very, very regulated environment. So, you know, how can I put it politely? You know, you've got a lot of negative people out there, but you know, we're aviation professionals. We focus on our product, our safety, the reliability in our schedule, and you know, we've delivered. Firstly, nobody thought we'd actually get here. Again, lots of negative press, but we're here. So we currently have 1 aircraft on ground. As I mentioned, we've just launched. We've got 2 aircraft in Lagos right now in workshop, being reconfigured especially for deployment into Freetown, Sierra Leone. So, you know, my message to our customers and every Sierra Leonean is, you know what, we are here and we are here for you. It's a highly regulated business. To use an old phrase, don't believe the hype. And you know, we are professional, and we're going to execute a strategy which will make Air Sierra Leone the regional carrier, the carrier of choice for West Africa. So there's lots more coming. I don't know if, again, you don't hear some of the positive news, especially when you're being scrutinized so heavily. So we've actually had three Sierra Leonean sisters being trained overseas for the last 9 months. So they're the first trained Sierra Leonean licensed cabin crew in this country for about 15-18 years. So we've deployed those crew on these maiden flights to Nigeria. We're recruiting heavily, and we're actually redefining aviation in this country, because there's been a void for 15-18 years since the country's been blacklisted internationally. So there is a lot of hope. We're not actually just coming in, taking passengers out and taking revenue out of the country. We're investing in this country, we're putting aircraft here, and we're building that knowledge base again. So we're recruiting, we're training, and all of that is for Sierra Leone. This is a private company, and it's not a government-owned entity. There's no government stakeholders in there. However, this is a 100% Sierra Leonean registered company, and you know, we're going to build a hub in Freetown where we connect West Africa through this hub up and down the west coast, and very soon we'll make announcements. So I hope I'm here next week to break the news on London. So we're going to make this a regional hub connecting internationally. So that's the plan. So every Sierra Leonean, you know, I want you to unite. This is not a political project. This is something good for Sierra Leone, and I hope it brings everybody together as a source of national pride. So watch this space.
quickly on feedback, you know, it's been a long time to actually see the green, white, and blue colors
Yes.
in the sky.
Yes.
And amidst all the feedback that's been coming in, what do you actually look forward to?
We've had lots of feedback. You know, even when we get negative feedback, we take that as constructive. So, so far it's been very, very positive. We've been asked to fly to many, many destinations. Of course, we can't just launch everywhere. It takes a lot of setting up, a lot of processes, regulatory approval. So the main feedback we have is, can you not fly here? Can you not fly here? But so we've got a business plan, we've got a strategy. We are going to expand Accra, Monrovia, Banjul, Dakar, Conakry. So we've got all those planned, especially when the bigger aircraft come in the next 2 or 3 months. So the feedback has so far been expand your network, but it's coming. So within 3 or 4 months we'll be a regional operator.
Which international city do you think you'll be able to fly first?
We are very advanced with our application for London. In fact, we're at the final stage. I wanted to break that news today, but I don't want to be premature. So London is definitely coming. We've got a beautiful aircraft lined up, a 737-8 MAX, brand new aircraft, full business class, and beautiful.
On the fly Sierra Leone?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Air Sierra Leone. So that's all ready. We're just waiting for one final permit, and I believe it's just a matter of days, not even weeks now. So I hope I'll be back here next week to break that news. But London is our first international route.
Rodney, you were here a while ago. It was in December or November last year?
I think it was September.
September.
Yeah, I was here. Yeah.
What has changed since then? You had a lot of plans, actually.
Yeah, so many things are changing, and I don't know if you see me. I'm up and down.
Indeed.
Yeah, around with my foundation stuff going around. Yeah, but we're trying to do a lot because we're trying to promote education, sport, health, and we have a project for this year. The project is we're trying to bring the sport and education together. Like, in a word I'm trying to say together is like, we know in Sierra Leone we have this mentality, either you do sport or you study, right? Either you become a lawyer or whatsoever. So now we're trying to, we know before the school system, I played in the school, you know, I know how we work with school and sport, you understand? And but now they shifted a little bit, you know? So now we're trying to bring something, trying to build a school that we have in the sport management, right? That we bring, you can go to school and still do your sport. And also our plan is we're trying to build this multi-mini court center in most of the schools in Sierra Leone. So the schools will have access to sport. So you have access to basketball, you have access to volleyball, you have access to lawn tennis, football, and handball. So you have 6 or 7, then table tennis and the other ones, you know, we can put boxing in there also. So these are the plans for this year that we're trying to do.
Do you see the dynamics changing actually in Sierra Leone when it comes to pupils in schools wanting to actually take up sports or even end up making it part of their career? Because I can remember when I was a kid, so many times I think I had so much interest in basketball coming up, but then I didn't get the chance, or neither did I would say my mom to some point couldn't let me, you know, stay after school, watch the basketball practice and stuff like that. And a lot of times, as you've mentioned, it's either you do sports or you go to school. Yeah. Do you see, or are you hopeful that the dynamics will change?
Yeah, just like you said, that's what we're trying to do, you understand? Because before it was easier. I play school league, you know? I become more stressed out when people know me because when I scored the goal at Edwards, you know? So now we're trying to come with a system that we engage you, that we have the access. But the most important, you have to have the structure. You know, without the structure, you can't go with it, you know? So we're trying to minimize and try to get the spaces that will actually fix to the school system, and that we encourage people to have the time and to go also into the curriculum, that we give you the access to do your sport, you know. So I think with what we're trying to do, it will change a lot, because it will, you know, because you have life after football, you have not only football, but you have life after, you know, your sporting activity, because the sports palm is just short, you know, after what sport, what you're going to do, after your career, what you're going to do. So we think we're in the right path, you know. Things will change, definitely.
Sierra Leone has a lot of talent, actually. You know, we have Maka Duncan doing his beat in the basketball arena.
That's right.
You know, he's now even a basketball coach, you know, a tutor in most of the top universities, you know, in the States, and he's doing his beat locally. You too, you've been a legend in the football space. You've succeeded, you know, and just recently we saw the signing of Juma Ba from Real Valladolid into Manchester City, you know, making a case as well that we have a lot of talent locally. But do you think the market is ready to grasp this opportunity in sports?
Yeah, definitely the market is ready, because we have so many talent here. It's just like we have to put more effort, we have to make use of it, you know. But to try to build sports, you have to have the facilities, right? The fields, the equipment. Those are the things that are necessary. Then you have to build it. It's a process. It's not a day thing, you know. So we have to build it from the grassroots and from the younger players, so they can get there. The things that I normally say that Sierra Leone sometimes we focus in just Leone star, Leone star, Leone star. I'm talking about football here, right? But the most places that buy footballers or they get them is from the lower stage, right? You're under 17, under 20s, and wherever. You know, all these OC men and all these people, they bought them from under 17 World Cup, under 20, you know, not from the first team, you know. So those are the things that we need to put in, you know, trying to come with the guys together, build up, you know, then we can go there. But as you said, now we're trying to get players that are going to the higher level. Even we have this guy, Augustus, is going to sign for Blackburn, hopefully today, because yesterday he was trying to do his medical. So we're getting there. Sierra Leone is getting there, yeah.
Okay, quickly before we go over to Salwa, now, you know, there's, for football again, because I know I can talk a little bit anyways, but you know, now bringing the sports in schools to actually have kids or pupils participate in sports and education as well. Yeah. When it comes to football, you know, there's been the argument that because we do not have a lot of football academies, and so we haven't been able to train more people to grow up and be, you know, successful in the sport. Will this, the project you're working on, will that suffice for maybe a football academy?
Yeah, as I said, also we're building a school, you know, that we help also with us. That's a special project also. That's going to be our own project, because the thing is, we want to do something that everybody will have the access. So if it's just going to be our own school and sports, the other people will not have the access. So that's why we're trying to go into the schools that all the peoples will have the access to do the sport. Even if you're not good in sports, but you're in school, maybe just like you said, you wanted to do basketball. You wanted to play basketball, but you didn't have the access. So that's why we're taking them to the school. But with the academy, we're trying to build a school on the Rodney Strasser Foundation school that we have access also with the sports management.
Oh, that's great and impressive. So we're coming over to you, Salwa. Tell us a bit about the Sierra Leone United States alumni. What is it about? And this time around, you're actually also celebrating. What is it you're celebrating?
So thank you for having me. So the Sierra Leone United States Alumni Association, it's an entity that comprises of different fellows that have participated in US-sponsored exchange programs, mostly people who have gone to the United States of America under mentorship, whether it's a master's degree in the case of Fulbright. Like in my case, I'm a 2016 Tech Women Fellow. So I was there for like 5 weeks under mentorship, where I also worked in one of the top software development companies in Silicon Valley. So the organization comprises of fellows from different programs, whether it's Mandela Washington, whether it's SUSI, YALI, Community Solutions. So this organization is all about giving back to society. We have come back to Sierra Leone to make meaningful impact in different communities from what we've learned in the US. And, you know, we have a passion, you know, to be able to create change, whether it has to do with the young, middle age, or even older people, whether it's vulnerable people. So that's what the organization is about. And regarding the Maiden Expo that we're implementing on February 15th, so this, of course, is the first time that we're having such a program. The essence is to showcase the great work that our members are doing. We have a lot of people in different categories of industry, whether it's the agriculture, whether it's entrepreneurship, in business, in the professional space. We have people that are doing things behind the scenes. Some of them, yes, of course, people know about them when they go to the social media platform. But then we believe that having an exhibition where people, external people would have the opportunity to come and see the various things that people are doing would be a great opportunity for them. But then, notwithstanding that, we also want to build this platform where our members would also have the opportunity to partner with NGOs, with other development organizations, whereby, they would do even greater things working together. So that's why we're having this expo.
What's the importance of these U.S. exchange programs from the perspective of a Sierra Leonean? How have you been able to benefit, and the alumni as a whole?
So a lot of mentorship actually is being done. Like in my own case, it has to do with technology. Rather, let me say STEM, whether it has to do with science, technology, engineering, or maths. So when we went there, we had a project that we worked on as a country together with my colleagues. We developed a concept around waste management education, because that has been a problem in our country. So we wanted to take that to the school, but then incorporating technology into that aspect. So what we learned from the mentorship, we brought it back to school. We piloted that for 3 schools in the eastern part, central, and the western part of Freetown. And we had a great success story. But then beyond the STEM, we have other people that have gone, to, like in the case of Mandela Washington program, they have people that are engaged in civic education that would come back and help educate people on whether it has to do with elections processes, whether it has to do with, community processes, or even developing businesses. So there's a lot that people get to learn. It's unfortunate that not everybody who applies get the opportunity to go to the United States to be mentored, but then those who have participated in that program actually always come back with this zeal, come back with this energy, just to be able to share the knowledge with other people.
Now, what particular ideology do you plan to sell to people at this expo? What should people know?
So there are going to be a lot of activities. So we're going to have, of course, the networking session, like I mentioned earlier on. But then we're going to have a short panel discussion where we would have, reputable people within Sierra Leone who are going to give, talk on financial inclusion. We're going to have people talking about climate and renewable energy. And we also have fellows who have, been doing great in the country. They would share their ideas around what they have done, the project that they have implemented, and also just give some brief information on the exchange programs. So people will have not only knowledge, but then they would get the opportunity to meet high caliber of people. And of course, the U.S. Embassy would also be there. They are having a booth space, and they would be willing to share information for people who have been having questions to ask, whether it has to do with exchange programs or maybe with anything around the U.S. Embassy. And there are other development partners that will be there that are also looking for opportunity to work with young people, work with entrepreneurs, business people. So there are great opportunities there waiting.
What does a U.S. exchange alumnus look like? What particular characteristics, are you looking for, or should one possess to become one, in your words, as someone who have actually gone through the process yourself?
So the different programs actually have different criteria. For instance, in the case of the Tech Women, of course, you should have done, or you should have a background around anything STEM related. You may have studied anything around science, technology, engineering, or maths, or maybe you're working in an organization that is working around that field. But then, again, they are also asking for at least 2 years experience. There are other programs like for younger people, which is, yes, it has to do with people at the university. There is the Fulbright, which has to do with, it's a master's program. So of course that as well will be asking for a first degree as well as working experience. So the criteria are different. But then the kind of personality that I should say, you know, it's hard to describe when it comes to that case, because looking at me, this young, beautiful lady, intelligent, and with all the mentorship that we have received, we come back with so much knowledge that we want to give back. But then I'll also mention a few names of people who are fellow of different exchange programs. Like the commissioner of ACC, he's an alumni of the association. Umaru Fofana, who is a popular man in this country, is also one of us. We have the head of CID, Justice Brown Mark. There are a lot of people. For some of you who know Reverend Alusain Diamond Suma, we have people in the media, Asma James, a lot of us, you know, we're over like 500. But then within the group, so far, we have like about 300 who are registered members. And we're still on the search to have people that have been participating in this program just to be part of the association. So if you're out there listening to me, you know where to find me.
Well, we're out there actually. I'm keen with the beauty stuff. You know, I need to rearrange my face just to look like her.
I guess. So Sawa, you know, oftentimes when people show interest in these exchange programs, or you have those who, well, it's not a bad thing to actually want to experience a different culture and all the likes, but you have those who maybe what's interesting for them is just the exchange, to just go experience a different culture, different people, and come back. And then when it comes to giving back, it's a challenge. They don't actually give back. Or you come back feeling so empowered, you have all the beautiful plans. When I go back, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And you come back, you're either frustrated, either the systems do not work, or it's quite different from what you had envisioned before coming back. How do you now give back and, you know, make sure that the exchange program you just came from is actually meaningful to not just you, but others who would receive whatever you're giving back?
So that's quite an interesting question, and it's so compact, but I'll try to answer all of it. So one thing that I'll say is that, and what is really common for all exchange programs is that there is a leadership, mentorship in every aspect. So going there, of course, even before going there, the application has to consider what you have done, you know, your qualification and things around that, you know, for the specific criteria for each program. But then beyond that, while you're being mentored or while these projects are being developed, even when we're there, one of the key things that is always emphasized is that, yes, you have to be persistent, you have to be pushful, you know. They're also aware that there's always this culture shock when we return back. And again, one of the things that affects us as Sierra Leoneans, it's established that people like to work in silo. People enjoy working as individuals. But I would say I am one of those people who have benefited a lot, you know, working with other people, you know, like-minded people that are passionate about what they do. And I've seen how teamwork can make you achieve greater things. And even planning this program, honestly, I can tell you we have greater resources that even members don't even know. So in our efforts to just get everybody on board, I've seen the talents that people have within. And the only encouragement that I would like to emphasize on is that come out, join others. Yes, people have had their experiences, bad experiences, working with people. You know, they'll be deceived along the line. Some people fail along the line. But I've learned that, you know, failure is also part of the experience. Failure strengthens you to even achieve the success that you want to eventually attain at the end of the day. But then there's so much in working together. There's so much in collaborating. And I want to really encourage people that this one is going to be a great opportunity, that people will get to see collaboration on a different level.
Indeed, teamwork does make the dream work.
Indeed.
We're coming over to you. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
so you go ahead, sure.
Don't do
Ladies
that.
first.
All right. So you gave us another interesting information, I would say, or something very useful, that as part of the cabin crew, we have 3 Sierra Leonean sisters, is it? How does Air Sierra Leone also plan to cater for both domestic and international travelers?
In terms of the products on board?
Yes, please.
Okay, so basically, I have to keep bringing this home because there's been such a void here. This is a Sierra Leonean carrier. Okay, we're not your national carrier, but your flag carrier. We're proudly registered here, and we're going to make this country, put this country back on the map in terms of aviation. So, there's a number of innovations we're working on at the moment. In-flight products. So yes, we've got our local crew on board. So that's the first big one. So you can interact. They're more sympathetic to our home-based passengers. So that's very, very key. They speak local languages. Secondly, we're developing the in-flight catering as well. So we will have national dishes on board. It's a little bit tricky when you're going, he's interested.
Oh, yes,
So you may have heard me say this in other programs. I love the cassava leaf, so I'm telling you, that will be on board. I love the potato leaf, that's going to be on board.
Have you tasted it?
Oh, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it, yeah. So that's definitely going to be on board. It's a little bit more tricky for regional flights because they're so short. So, we don't give the full meal, but certainly for the London route, we're going to have a lot of locally produced juices, drinks on board, and about 60% of the options on board for London will be local servings or local offerings. So also the in-flight entertainment, we're going to make success. It makes me proud that, we invested in somebody and we saw them grow. And now they've potentially got global careers. This is a global industry. So that's a sign of giving back to the industry and giving back to the country. So that 15, 18-year void, we are slowly overcoming. Can I just touch on the blacklisting? Because that's part of it, right? So also, we don't sit there and give grammar. We know what we're doing. We know that Sierra Leone is blacklisted in Europe right now. I think Madam DG from the SLCA sat on this exact space a number of weeks ago. She's working very, very hard to overturn this blacklisting, a horrible phrase, but it is what it is. She's working very hard to overcome this blacklisting so that any Sierra Leonean carrier, not just Air Sierra Leone, any Sierra Leonean carrier can fly to Europe. Yeah, so that's the stigma from, like you say, 2006, 2008. So she's working very hard. We've actually found a way. We're a very mature team. We're a very connected team. We've sat down with the European regulator, especially the UK regulator, and we found a way into the UK, legally endorsed, by both civil aviation authorities. And, we found that path. And if we can, we will trailblaze for the whole industry. Tomorrow, Rodney may want to set up Rodney Airways. Fine, it's open the playing field for everybody. So, but we're confident in ourselves. We've got our business plans, but competition is never a bad thing. But that void has really hurt this country. And we're going to overturn that. When we announced London, which is imminent, right? I was hoping I could do it today, but it was just one more piece of paper. You'll see what we mean. We mean business. And we need people. We're going to invest in people, and we're going to reshape this industry for generations to come. So, it's an exciting project at this stage of my career. And like I say, it will be a legacy project. Yeah, so we're very excited.
I cannot wait to eat my cassava leaves on board, by the way.
I'm telling you, I love it.
And I'm also hopeful, so probably we'll get to see Jamil's Taxi or Lima Diaries, Love in a Glass, or Phoebe Swill's April 27 movie.
Yes. Okay, drop me these movies. Drop me the content. I'll make sure it's on board.
Definitely.
No problem.
Definitely. So we'll come over back to you, Rodney. Now you are actually involved in different sectors. I would say you're already helping out with the health sector. You're now going to sports and the likes. How do you maintain the balance?
Yeah, maintaining the balance is focus on the main help. It's just to help. Whatever way you go into the sport, you go into health, you go into whatever. We're just trying to help. So with the balance, because I'm going to also the conferences with FIFA and CAF. I was also the first Sierra Leonean to attend the FIFA Congress. So we have a team. It's not only me. We have a team that also engage in some sectors and trying to build it. It's not easy, as I said, and also let me take you backward a little bit. We've been doing this foundation without even an account. without even nothing. You know, every time I'm in town, I just pull out and did charity. You know, I'll take you back since 2012, 13. We did in Bo with the blind school, did in McKinney. We did a build tap. We did with SOS school. Last year we donated a generator when there was an outbreak at Cottage. You know, so we did with Ebola. I created a campaign, Kick Ebola Out of the World. So this T-shirt was with Milan. I sent it to most of the players, Thiago Silva, Cuadrado. So they put it on. We raised a lot of funds internationally, even for Sierra Leone. So we've been doing a lot, you know. So for trying to coordinate now that we're trying to do something format, you know, that now we have an account. Now we're doing proper website and everything. So we're trying to do it properly. So as time goes on, we continue to do what we have to do, but just like you said, everything you just have to be help, you know, so we're going to cater for it.
You're just one man, you know. Don't you think you're overburdened? You know, where do you get funds? Do you fund solo, or do you have accomplices?
That's what I'm saying. You know, I've been doing it alone, for my pocket alone, because we have a team. You know, but that's why now we're trying to. We need people on board to help us, because we're trying to take it to the next level. And that's why we're trying, I don't know if you see, I have one of my jerseys also for you guys, the thing that we're going around with, because we want people to come on board, collaboration, you know, partnership, you know, whatever way we can, because it's just about helping. You know, I've been doing it like solo, you know, even the generator, it came out, I was in town, you know, like 3 days I just saw it on the news, that the hospital with lack of light and all this stuff, the kids were, you know. So I just facilitate in 2 days and get this generator, 20 kVA, we got fuel and all this stuff. So we need people on board. We need people that can help us.
How can you be reached? Okay, someone wants to.
We have now, we're doing all this, you know, the way it's supposed to be, you know. It's going to be all the website and everything, and accounts. We're going to share it everywhere in the social media, you know. And we have people that are coming on board and help us with that also.
Okay.
All right, so you have to give us the date of your expo as we try to wrap up this session.
Okay, so the expo will be held on February 15th, 2025, of course. But then I would want to say this, you know, the Alumni Association has been doing a lot of things, whether it's what we call the Alumni Give Back Day, like we started it 2 years ago, where we planted 1,000 trees countrywide. Last year we did, the other year we did an awareness on the use of drugs, where we went down to, you know, communities where people are affected by Kush. And then we also, like around December, we went to Grafton and Koso Town, where we met with people with disabilities, you know, just speaking to them about gender-based violence. We have been doing a lot, and also recognizing the efforts of people in what we call the Alumni Impact Award, where we you know, recognize them with plaques and give them, you know, a seed or something. And so this is one event that someone does not want to miss out, whether you are a student, whether you are a professional, whether you're into business. In every sector, you are encouraged to be part of it. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dade, for gracing us our program this morning. It's indeed a pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah, thank you.
As I said, I'm going to try my best to look as good as you are, you know, going forward. And that's one of the qualities they're looking for.
Yes.
You know, hopefully I get it right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mann, as well. It's a pleasure indeed. We do hope to see the best out of Air Sierra Leone. Yeah. We wish you good fortune.
Let me know when you want to write. You'll be my guest. So
anytime. Most definitely. We'll surely reach out.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Please do.
Strass?
Thank you.
So it was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Indeed.